Iye Belekim. It is Elohimi, your Elohim. So, as I promised, I was going to do a second video today going into what exactly it is that I put into that's in the box. Okay, what's in the box? Well, have no fear. I am about to show you what is in the box. So let's take a look. As you can see, whenever you see that smiley face, that gives us a reason to be happy. I should have grabbed my chair, shouldn't I? Oh well. Everything's going well. This is the old, my old filter is a Fram. That's the one I like to use because that's a grippy piece right there when undoing it. I noticed something this time with the updated pressure that this system now has. Your stock SRT 8 6.1 liter is about 10.5 compression, and mine is around 11 now. And I've never seen the oil seeping out kind of the top of that. And I'm noticing at other pressure points, like where you see the power steering, but it's just, I think it's just the pressure is kind of pushing things to their max, perhaps. And to correct the statement I made earlier, I called those I can't remember what they're called now, pinch rails steel. They're not steel, they're metal, but the way they're going perpendicular is what makes them able to jack the car. But they're not steel, they're metal. But back to our point at hand. So that is the filter I use for the first 500 miles break-in. And I like to use my OW, or I went with 5W40 because I had a bottle. I went with 5W40, just a bit thicker consistency, which is within spec, is in the manual for this car. And I always add a zinc additive. The zinc additive, I'm forgetting the name of the company. It's a white bottle, red cap. You can't miss it if you go to AutoZone, but that's the zinc additive that I use. I change it in the first 500. Let me turn this back to me. I change my oil, as the manual says, in the first 500 miles. It says 500 miles, change your oil, then drive 2,000 miles, don't baby it, and then change your oil again, and then consider the engine broken in. I see Okim going 1,000, 2,000 miles, 3,000 miles on their first engine break-in, and I highly would suggest. I'm an engineer guy. I'm a creator guy. When I say EA, I'm talking about the creator of heaven and earth. I'm about going with the intelligent design, the manual. I don't know why people want to go against the engineers of these things. These are the engineers. These are they who created what we love so much. I think they would know best what's appropriate when it comes to that particular creation. And the creators said 500 miles, do your break-in. Now, outside of that suggestion, because I wasn't in the room when they did all this math, and I was saying this to a guy online the other day, unless you begin to work on your own engine, I'm talking about from tear down to rebuild like I have, you're not going to truly understand and have an appreciation for the nuances. When you're dealing with these, especially these foreign cars, these high-powered cars, everything, this is your room for error on regular cars. When you get to these cars, this is your room for error. You have to understand that a piece of metal can end all of your work, just a small piece. You don't want to play with fire. You make it that 500 miles, let's say 5 to 6, I'm at 529. When you make it that 500 miles, change that oil. I'm telling you, there are little metal particles that you can't see, that you want out of your engine. There's dirt that you can't see, that you want out of your engine. Go ahead and change that oil. Go 2,000 miles, change that oil again. Then you should be okay to go. My oil looked great. I could see a few little particles in there just because, once again, my eyes are trained different now from looking so closely at these things. But I've blown up my 2.7, my original. I've been driving you gotta understand something. I've been driving a Dodge Magnum for over a decade now in my life. In 2009, I bought a 2.7 liter. I remember looking at the car manuals and stuff when the Dodges were coming out. I bought mine in 2009, and I saw the SRT. I didn't know what any of that stuff meant, though. 400 horsepower and all. I didn't know what any of that stuff meant. But I just loved the car. I love the functionality where it's like an SUV, but it's not Kizibakaza. So I drove a 2.7 up until 3 or 4 years ago now, when I blew up the engine. The first time I blew the engine, didn't change the oil. My dad used to say one thing: "Son, have you checked the oil? You keep an eye on that oil, aren't you?" Me, like a typical young idiot, would drive all across. You know how we get down in college in Kizibakaza. And I didn't check the oil as consistently as I should. Listening to idiots online, manuals, modern cars don't need. Listen, you need to stay on top of your oil changes. 5,000, 7,000 miles. Once again, though, when it comes to these 3,000 miles, you need to be checking and changing that oil. You got to be constantly. If you're going to drive an SRT, you got to be on top of it. Your maintenance, every single aspect. I need to grease my ball joints. I'm gonna do that in a second. I got a grease gun. Grease my ball joints. Like, you gotta stay on top of your maintenance for these vehicles. I didn't know that when I first got it. That's how I know this build that I've done personally is going to last for so long, because I know every single intricacy of this car. Any mistake is on me. But blew up my 2.7. My dad bought me a $9,000 replacement, blew that up the same way, much older, and blew it up again. Didn't necessarily blow it up. They said it was the flywheel was ate up, but I didn't even really understand what the flywheel was. But me and my wife decided, let's get a new car. I was actually shown this one in a vision. I won't get into all of that, but that's when I just started reading, and they were talking about the SRT8, and I realized what it was. I'm like, man, so this is, and the people always say that my car was underpowered. And unless you have a Hemi in it, then those Mopars are too heavy. You don't really get what you're supposed to get out of them. Boy, were they right. So 2 or 3 years ago is when I got this one, and it's been heaven ever since. But my point is, and even with spinning bearings and things, all that's has to do with oil consistency, lifter failure. It's about oil. You got to keep these things lubricated. Here's a key point I will say about the oil change. Remember, oil loses its viscosity. Essentially, another word would be integrity. So you can wait to 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 7,000 miles. Here's my question to you. Why? Why chance it? I get money. I get it. But I feel like we spend money on too many other things for that to be an excuse. I really do. You're talking about $12, you're talking about $60 every 3,000 miles. I drive daily, so mine's a little bit different. Mine comes quicker than yours. But $60 for you every 3,000 miles at just regular drivers? Come on now. You buy drinks that cost more than that. Now, if you got the money, blow it up, don't care, and all that stuff like a lot of these people do, go do what you do. That's what the Oki said to me. He was like, listen, I'm not really too concerned with what am I supposed to do with that? If that's you, hey. But if you're like me, and you don't have the money for all these upgrades and continual repairs and all this garbage, just stay on top of your oil changes. That's the life. My dad taught it to me. That is the life. That is the EA of a car. The oil. So, 500 miles. The SRT8 6.1 engine break-in, brand new or rebuilt. 500 miles, change that oil. You saw my Fram filter PH16 AutoZone is the one I use. That's the one you'll find for the car. OW40 Castrol, I love their engine oil. and I add a zinc additive. Very important, that zinc additive to help pull that metal out of there. That's what engine break-in oil basically is. It's extra zinc. So by adding that bottle of zinc, I'm creating an engine break-in oil essentially. But at 500 miles, change it. That's what the creators said to do. That's what I do. That's what Hakuma, wisdom, says to do. That is what I'm doing and telling you to do. If you do something else, don't come crying to me. Now for the box. Bum, ba ba bum. Ba 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 bum. Ba 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 bum. Ba 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 bum ba bum. Ba 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 bum bum. Ba 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 bum ba bum. Ba 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 bum bum. Ba ba bum bum. Ba ba bum bum. Bum ba 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 bum. Ba 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 bum. That's right. That's right, boys and girls. You got it. You got it. SRT filter. I'm going to put a link in the description if I can find a video of the guy that cut one of these in half and showed the difference. And yes, this filter, that's why I left the plastic on there for mistakes. That filter is not like this filter. They look the same, they fit, great performance. I love this filter, hasn't caused me any issues. But this one, this is a better filter in every way. Design, once again, the engineers created this for the SRTs. Remember, my Dodge Magnum brethren, you pull up this part number, it's not going to say that it fits your 2007 your Dodge Magnum SRT 6.1. It does fit. Oh man, you can do the research. This was actually created for the Viper. And if you all know how legendary the Viper is, and boy would I love to have a Viper one day. If you know how legendary the Viper is, these were created for the Viper. So to give you an idea of the engineering behind it, this will fit. It just isn't listed that way because of what it was created for. But this absolutely, as you can see, is the exact same filter. You see the size and all of that is the same here. But the holes are a little bit, I'm gonna link the video. It's a better built filter. Amazon. That's like $58-60 for the package. No, for the 7 liters of oil that you need for these. And for the oil filter is like $12. So I'm just going to order it off Amazon from now on. This is my first time using the Pennzoil Ultra Platinum, but as you can see, designed for the SRT. So that's what I'm using from now on as far as Prime goes. Say shalom to the people. Shalom. All right. So this is what I'm using. I told you I was going to show you what was in the box. Okay, that'll do it for this video, I believe. I don't think y'all want to see me screw it in and fill it up and all that. I'm also a proponent of filling up the filter before screwing it onto the car. It just helps with the pickup of the oil quicker. I think it's a little bit safer. Anything to give you an edge is my opinion what you should do. That's what I do. But people have different mindsets on that. I like that mindset of oiling it, filling the filter first. It also helps you when you're filling it up to that 7 liters. By filling this first, it'll help you better measure how much oil you actually have in there. Amen. So with that, what is that? Hold on. What is that? Trying to make sure that's not. Matter of fact, like a small piece of leftover metal from the breakdown. Is that metal? Slightly. Trying to see if this is metal or not. Is that metal or a piece of? No, it looks like a piece of shrapnel, maybe from that last breakdown. Anywho, but that's why I say 500. Change it right there. You want to catch stuff early. You go 2,000 miles. That's a long way to go without knowing what's going on. And I'm telling you, you need to stay on top of that type of thing when it comes to these cars. So, I mean, kung sa lao, man, that is what is in the box. And Amazon.com. I'll put that link in the description. I will put a link to the video of the guy who took this apart and gave a brilliant explanation of the differences. And what other link do I owe you all? Breakdown link, Amazon link to buy these items. Did I say anything else, family? I don't think I said anything else. And King. So till next time, Elohim yo Elohim. Shalom ye belekim. Iye. Shalom. Shalom ye belekim. It's Elohim yo Elohim. So the SRT 05038041AA filter actually does not fit 6.1 liter engines. It fits the 5.7, it fits the 6.4, but not this unicorn 6.1. There's a debate online whether or not this fits, and I can solve that debate for you here. This is live. The circle diameter is way too big. I'll show you. This is me trying to screw this in. That's me trying my best to screw this in. At that many turns, as you know, that would screw in. It does not fit. I can show you a comparison. Here's a comparison. As you can see, it's bigger. You see that? It's bigger than the SRT's filter screw is. It's too big. So I'm gonna have to go back and buy my favorite, my Fram here. I may try a mobile one today, but I really like a Fram. I like that that bottom right there. I may try an mobile one, but no, unfortunately, my friends, my Dodge Magnum 6.1, my 6.1 liter family, this does not fit that particular build. So that puts that debate to an end. I just showed you live. I'm literally showing you there's no way it's going to fit. I showed you me screw it and it come right off. Doesn't fit. And if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. Shalom ye belekim. Iye. Shalom.